So my name is Andrew Olayanju Popoola, but I go by Pops. Olayanju is spelled Olayanju.
And your last name?
Popoola, it's spelled Popoola. Actually pronounced Popoola, but I don't impose that on anyone because it's harder to pronounce.
And then what is your duty title?
So I am the director of the Association of African Air Forces Permanent Secretariat.
Would that be the unit as well? Or because I know, would the unit be AAAF?
No, so it's an organization, and it's 7 years old, even though we haven't really figured out exactly how to posture it because we've grown significantly. So back in 2015, when the organization was set up, it had 4 members. Now we have 29 members. So the permanent secretariat oversees all of the governance of the association, and that's what I'm the director for. The permanent secretariat started with just 1 person, but we quickly realized that you need a lot more people. So right now we have 3 people, which is still not enough. We need to be between 9 and 12 would be the right number. So it's not a unit, and we're figuring out where in the org structure it fits. The Secretary General is Colonel Beth Lane, and she is the division chief for USAFE Africa International Affairs. And so the position of Secretary General is a third hat for her. And so while she's doing her regular duties, that's where I come in and I take care of basically the day-to-day running of the association, interacting with liaison officers and planning all of our events and all of the details.
And then so just to kind of start off for this event, so I've been getting a lot of military answers, I guess, so I want to make sure I have like kind of in layman's terms. So if you had to like tell your mom what you're trying to achieve here at the LNO Working Group, what would you tell her?
So what we're trying to achieve at the Liaison Officer Working Group is to strengthen the bonds between all of the member African Air Forces, because the ultimate goal of the Association of African Air Forces is to build this air power collaborative on the African continent. And I define air power as the ability to maximally utilize the air domain, whether it be for airlift, to be transporting people, cargo, being able to rapidly respond to humanitarian assistance situations or disaster relief. So as an Air Force, it doesn't really matter what country I'm from, we share a bond as airmen. We have understanding of what it takes to get a plane in the air and deliver. And so the concept here is, since we all have that in common, as well as have common problem sets being on the African continent, then it makes sense to come together to share our experiences, to share our understanding, to see how we can help each other. So that happens both at the strategic level with the African Air Chiefs, the collective chiefs of air staff, and happens at the lower level, which is with the liaison officers. So every member country provides a liaison officer, and then we come and sit together. So at the strategic level, the air chiefs tell us what they believe is the best way forward as far as what they want to work on next. And then we at the lower level, the action officer level, liaison officer level, we do it, we operationalize or figure out how to bring the strategic discussions to happen, to life.
Makes sense. That's perfect. So can you just tell, I know there was quite a few things that happened, but what were the events at this year's LNO Working Group? Because I know it was more than just the LNO Working Group itself.
Yeah. So this year's LNO Working Group was more than just an LNO Working Group. We also had a senior enlisted forum, as well as the Air Transport Sharing Mechanism capstone. So I'll touch on the senior enlisted forum real quick. So part of the liaison, part of AAAF as an organization is, as I mentioned, just strengthening our bonds. And as we all know, our NCOs and senior NCOs are the backbone of all of our air forces. And so instead of just the liaison officers, who are typically captains all the way up to 06, in some cases 1-star, Nigeria, for example, we also create a forum for the senior enlisted to get together and talk and discuss matters that affect them. And so So this year we included that. We also did that last year. So what's unique about this year is the air transport sharing mechanism. This really will be the first sharing mechanism that AAF can utilize, because the concept behind it is, what if we can have a rainbow crew of sorts, where you have a pilot from Senegal and a loadmaster from Burkina Faso and a flight engineer from Rwanda, and on, just a mixed crew, an opportunity to work together. But not just that, but a standing squadron, a standing operations squadron that can respond at any time to things going on the continent. And so this has been talked about for a couple of years, and now we're bringing it together under AAF. So this year really was 3 events. And as a result, the next time we meet, it won't be just the Liaison Officer Working Group. It will be called the Association of African Air Forces Working Group. And that's a big umbrella that has the LNOs and has a senior enlisted and a sharing mechanism and whatever else that we deem is necessary to further together. Women, peace, and security is another example that we're exploring of how to bring those concepts and ideas under AAF.
Why would you say the Senior Enlisted Forum was important?
So the Senior Enlisted Forum is important because it provides a forum for our senior enlisted members to get together and discuss matters that are important to them, important to the Air Forces. We all know that the enlisted corps is the backbone of our various Air Forces, and the officer corps to enlisted corps relationship on various Air Forces on the continent are different, as you can imagine. And so this gives them an opportunity to talk and share best practices and share how they do things, which then each member can take back to their respective Air Forces to continue to build those bonds and foster the strength that we talked about earlier.
And what would you say was your favorite part of this entire event?
Wow, my favorite part of this entire event, man, that's a hard one. There are many, many things that happened from our visit to Victoria Falls. I mean, you look at this location. Botswana is a beautiful country. Kasane is a just magical place. But I would have to say the fact that we were able to move the ball forward. We only get to meet once a year. Excuse me, for the senior enlist. I mean the liaison officers. We only get to meet once a year, and so being able to actually get down to the brass tacks and work on what the various air chiefs, the chiefs of air staff, have tasked us to do, and able to create new policies and way forward, or at least that we're going to recommend to the air chiefs for us to then get the vector check that's happening later today. That in combination with the magical location, work hard and play hard, and here you can really do that. We had some time to go on a safari, and so when you put it all together, it was just, all of that together is my favorite put together, yes.